Aggression and sudden outbursts of anger are never good. Yet many who experience them speak of their inability to control their behavior during an outburst. All too often, anger is directed towards a person's own family and loved ones, traumatizing children, alienating spouses, and destroying friendships. If not brought under control, anger will sooner or later even negatively affect a person's ability to make money. Anger serves as a natural channel for spiritual oppression.
Peculiar patterns of disease. Hospitals, doctors, pharmaceuticals, and the medical profession have all improved our quality of life. They are a vital part of modern living. Yet there are illnesses that confound doctors, are inexplicably aggressive, and resist all forms of treatment. Some patients find that no sooner has one medical problem been solved than another more serious one takes its place. It seems they are never without some sort of serious medical issue. Peculiar patterns of disease is one sign of spiritual oppression.
Drugs, sex, pornography, gambling, alcohol, and other forms of addictive behavior are ravenous beasts to anyone giving in to their urges. Almost always an addict wants to stop and hates what his behavior is doing to his life. But every attempt to stop is met with stiff opposition. Promise after promise is broken until family and friends no longer trust anything he has to say. Though he looks for relief and escape in his addictive behavior, all he's left with is a life of oppression and pain.
Insomnia. Inability to fall asleep or to remain asleep long enough to feel rested, especially as a problem continuing over time. In the hurried world we live in, many suffer from insomnia. Some are unable to sleep for days at a time. The effects of this can be devastating to a person's marriage, career, and health. Few ever consider that this may be a sign of spiritual oppression, and yet when a person lives in a continual state of exhaustion, mistakes, confusion, and a lack of self-control are multiplied.
Fear, an unpleasant feeling of apprehension or distress caused by the presence or anticipation of danger. At times, fear is the correct response to what's happening, but all too often, fear is an over-exaggerated reaction to events that hijack a person and leave him emotionally handicapped. Fear of the past, fear of the future, fear that you'll never achieve your dreams, fear that you'll never get married or that your marriage will end in divorce, fear of illness or death. However it manifests, constant fear is a sign of oppression.
Blocked love life. There are people who have everything going for them. Good looks, a good job, an attractive personality, and yet every attempt at finding a partner to share their life with ends in disappointment. Others get married only to find that arguments, hurt feelings, and unfaithfulness tear them apart. What should bring stability and happiness seems to be a goal that is out of reach for most people. A blocked love life brings untold pain and loneliness and is a clear sign of spiritual oppression.
Hopelessness, despair, and an overwhelming sense that the pain of living is just too much to bear are common feelings that lead to suicidal thoughts. The normal, healthy reaction of protecting yourself from danger is overridden, and a person becomes obsessed with the idea of ending his life in order to be at peace. When a person has these thoughts, it does not signify that he is bad or evil, or even that he wants to have them. What it does signify is that he is under spiritual oppression.
Depression. A disorder marked by sadness, inactivity, difficulty in thinking and concentration, feelings of dejection and hopelessness, and sometimes suicidal tendencies. We live in an age when depression is rampant. In fact, studies show that depression among children is becoming more and more frequent. While depression is a quantifiable psychiatric condition, we cannot ignore the fact that depression is a Xerox copy of the mental state in which negative spiritual forces thrive. Not only is depression a sign of spiritual oppression, it is a tool of oppressing spirits.
Most paranormal experiences are gruesome and terrifying, commonly occurring in the dark when a person's emotions are most vulnerable. Dead relatives, disfigured faces, shadows, the sensation that someone is watching you, hearing your name being called when no one is there, or a sense that you're being choked or sexually molested. Out of a fear of being labeled crazy, most people never communicate with anyone about these experiences. And yet, they are much more than an overactive imagination. They are a sure sign of spiritual oppression.
Underachievement. Success is the dream of every person, and yet many skilled and talented people who have every reason to succeed are pushed to the sidelines time and time again. They are left to watch as less talented colleagues are promoted. If anything can go wrong on their job or business, it does. What turns into a big success in other people's hands turns to ashes in theirs. Those who suffer from the spirit of underachievement commonly reach a point when they just give up on their dreams.